For those of you working along with me on this section called ratio, proportion, and percent, then we are updating our videos. So we talked about making ratios and how to write ratios. We've talked about unit rates and how to compare unit rates. And then we have our next section is ratios in word problems. So we're going to talk about more complicated word problems that are ratio problems. Remember that ratio is a very simple concept, but sometimes they can change that problem up and make it look more complicated. So I'm on page 110, and let's just review what we've talked about, how to do a ratio problem. They're so easy, we really don't want to miss these. So it's important to follow our steps. We want to read the problem. We want to draw a fraction line. Okay, we're going to set them up like a fraction. We want to put the labels in, whatever the labels are for our problem. And then we want to put the numbers in, say it was 6 and 3, and then we want to reduce. So we put that on the calculator as a fraction, just as a reminder. As a fraction, 6ND3, there it is as a fraction. Hit enter. Remember, if it reduces to a whole number, you put it over 1. So that reduces to 2 over 1. 2 to 1 is how we would say that. So let's do a couple of problems that are just not as straightforward. On page 110, and I'm going to work from this book, this Number Power book. Let's start with these examples. A football team won 10 out of 16 games. What is the ratio of wins to losses? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of ignore their work there. It's hard to do math from a book. So football team won 10 out of 16 games. What is the ratio? Ding, 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 ratio. So what do we need to do? We're going to draw a fraction line. That's it, okay? Of wins to losses. So important to note that. That's the order they want it in. Wins on top, losses on bottom. Then I go back to the problem to get my numbers, because see, if you're not careful, you'll just see those numbers and say, oh, it's 10 over 16, and I'll take it to my calculator and reduce it. Okay, so let's just double check and see if that would work. We want wins to losses. Okay, well, they won 10. Okay, so far so good. But they won 10 out of 16. So is 16 the number of games they lost? No, because they played 16 games. So think about it. If you played 16 games and you won 10 games, what do I need to do with this number and 16 to figure out, oops, I'm trying to say win or won, to figure out how many I lost? How many I lost? What would I do? Played 16, won 10. Well, obviously, if you've played 16 games, let's just draw it out as a picture, and let's say that your wins and losses together gave you 16. We know we won 10. Then how would you find this other little piece? You would have to do what with those two numbers? You would have to subtract 16 minus 10. That is not 16. Sometimes we say this backwards. So this is 16 minus 10. This is not 10 minus 16. Okay? So careful how you think about your subtraction problem. So that is, when you subtract 16 minus 10, you get 6 losses. Now you can take that to the calculator. So 10 over 6. Notice I put it in as a fraction. Enter. And I get 5 over 3. So that is my problem, and I just showed you all of this just to help you see it. Okay, so let's do another one. This other example. A store shelf has 10 red t-shirts and 20 blue t-shirts. How many blue t-shirts need to be added to the shelf so that the ratio of red to blue t-shirts is 1/3, which looks like 1/3, but when it's ratio, we want to say 1:3. Okay, now that's kind of a weird problem. So let's take that one and work it together. We know that they're asking for ratio, so we have a fraction line. okay? And when they ask for ratio, we're going to draw our fraction line. And it says how many blue t-shirts need to be added to the shelf so that the ratio of red to blue is 1 to 3. We want it to be 1 to 3, okay? So this is what we want, red to blue. So how many red t-shirts do I have for my problem over here? I have 10 red and I have 20 blue. Well, when you reduce that, what do you get? 10 over 20. Put it in the calculator. So 10, fraction line 20, I get 1 to 2. That's not going to give me a reduced thing to get 1 to 3. So what number, I only want to change, because read your problem. How many blue t-shirts need to be added to the shelf so that the ratio of red to blue t-shirts is 1 to 3? I want only add blue t-shirts. So if you're going to fiddle, you're just going to fiddle with this number. If I fiddle with this number, what could I increase it to make this equal 1 to 3 or 1/3 if you're just talking fractions? Well, you could add one at a time and then another one, or you could think in units of 10. 10 to 20 is 1 to 2, so 10 to what would give you 1 to 3? 10 to 30. So if you added 10, then that would start to look like 10 over 30. Put that on your calculator, or remember your N0 rules, and that reduces to 1 to 3. So how many would you need to add, though? The question is, how many do I need to add? I need to add 10 blue t-shirts.